Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to fundamentally rethink how you work. We'll be drawing directly from David Kadavy's revolutionary insights into why traditional time management is, frankly, utterly failing us today. If you have ever felt completely drained at the end of the day despite perfectly scheduling every single minute, well, you are in the exact right place. So, let's start with a really painful modern paradox. Why does trying to save time leave you with less energy? Think about it. As we try to cram more and more into a strict 24-hour window, color-coding our calendars to the absolute max, we inevitably end up facing sky-high anxiety and total exhaustion. We're constantly told time is our most precious resource, right? But endlessly optimizing it is just leaving us completely burnt out. And that brings us to a brilliant thought from entrepreneur Naval Ravikant. He says, "Earn with your mind, not your time." This perfectly captures our core thesis for today. Your true value actually lies in your thoughts, not the mechanical speed of your production. We really need to shift our focus away from how much time we have and instead focus on the quality of the mental energy we bring to that time. Okay, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll be covering 1. The trap of time management. 2. The end of Taylorism. 3. Diminishing returns of time. 4. Surviving the creative age. 5. Time worship and false assumptions. And finally, 6. The mind management solution. Let's dive in. Section 1. The trap of time management, the hustle culture treadmill. Let's be real, piling on life hacks like listening to audiobooks at triple speed, sleeping 5 hours a night instead of 8, or answering emails while driving, none of this solves the core issue. It actually just drains the vital energy you need to get meaningful things done. The harder we try to get more out of our time by squeezing in all these aggressive efficiency tricks, the less actual creative energy we have left over. It's literally like trying to squeeze blood from a stone. Moving on to Section 2, the end of Taylorism, the ghost of the industrial age. To understand why we work this way, we have to look back. In the agricultural age, work was measured in days and seasons. But over a century ago, Frederick Taylor revolutionized work by optimizing factory workers with a stopwatch. This ushered in the industrial age, or Taylorism, where time was treated purely as a production unit. Every single second counted. And today, in the creative age, where work is measured in ideas and insight, we're still haunted by that old system. There's just a total mismatch when we apply a 19th century industrial metric to modern knowledge work. When you're moving chunks of iron, your action and your result are highly correlated. More time equals more iron moved. But having a single creative idea, that takes almost no physical time at all. It can literally happen in an instant while you're taking a shower. But it requires massive mental energy and preparation. Section 3. Diminishing returns of time, hitting the biological wall. We need to talk about a simple economic reality, the point of diminishing returns. This is simply the point where each additional unit of time you put in yields less output than the previous unit, because pushing a tired mind yields fewer and fewer results. If a factory worker moves 5 chunks of iron in 10 minutes, in the next 10 minutes, they might only move 4, purely because of physical exhaustion. The same goes for your brain. You just can't keep throwing time at a complex problem. Eventually, that productivity line forcefully bends downward as biological exhaustion sets in. Sure, you might put in an extra 2 hours of work late at night, but the actual output you generate from those 2 exhausted hours is just a fraction of what you'd accomplish in a well-rested state. And it gets worse. If you push past diminishing returns, you actually hit negative returns. This is where you start making silly mistakes, writing code filled with bugs, or drafting emails you literally have to apologize for the next day. Pushing yourself this hard actually causes your total output to crash, leaving you worse off than if you'd simply stepped away and gotten some rest. Section 4. Surviving the creative age, AI and human value. This biological wall matters more now than ever. Experts predict AI is poised to eliminate 40 to 50% of jobs in the next 2 decades. Why? Because AI excels at narrow, optimization-based tasks, the exact kind of step-by-step tasks that fit perfectly into traditional time management. This means our survival as humans heavily depends on divergent and convergent creative thinking. Our edge lies in unstructured environments, finding novel and useful solutions, and you simply cannot force a breakthrough creative solution with a ticking clock. Think about it like writing a novel. A computer can instantly generate 50,000 words, but they often make absolutely no coherent sense. A human might take a whole month to write a novel, but our value is rooted in the quality and coherence of the thoughts behind the doing. We aren't going to win on speed anymore. We win on insight.
Section 5. Time worship and false assumptions. Breaking down the flaws.
To thrive today, we have to let go of a few massive false assumptions. First, the idea that time is a uniform commodity, that every hour is identical. The reality is, your energy fluctuates. Your 9 a.m. brain is radically different from your 3 p.m. brain. Second, we assume that producing sheer volume equals productivity. But in the creative age, working endlessly on a bad idea yields absolutely nothing. It's the quality of your ideas that dictates your true impact. Here's a question for you. Do you call unused money free money? Probably not. Then why on earth do we call unused time free time? This is a huge paradigm shift. Time you don't actively use pays massive dividends in the future through creative incubation. Leaving space in your schedule gives your brain the slack it desperately needs to connect divergent ideas. We have got to stop treating unscheduled time as free space, just waiting for others to steal with last-minute meetings.
Section 6. The Mind Management Solution. Optimizing for energy.
So what's the alternative? Time management optimized the clock and crammed our schedules, which was great for the industrial age. Mind management, on the other hand, optimizes your creative energy and your mental states. True modern productivity is all about intentionally putting ourselves in the proper state of mind to make great things happen, rather than just frantically racing the clock. Okay, so here is your practical toolkit to implement immediately. The next time you sit down to work, don't just blindly follow a rigid to-do list that forces deep analytical work onto an exhausted brain. Try this instead. Step 1. Ask yourself what exact work you are actually in the mood to do right now. Step 2. Select and execute the specific task that naturally aligns with that mental state. If you're groggy, maybe do some light brainstorming. If you're sharp and focused, that's when you edit or analyze. Align your tasks with your current cognitive energy. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one provocative thought. Stop asking what time it is and start asking what your mind is truly ready to tackle next. When you start managing your mind instead of just managing your time, you're going to find that you not only get far more meaningful work done, but you actually enjoy the process along the way. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the creative age. Catch you next time.